This show is brought to you by Beco Dairy Automation. You have tuned in to the Agribusiness Dairyman News Hour magazine, your 1 hour all dairy connection. We call it the Dairyman source for news, ideas, information, and technology, mixed with a double dose of current market conditions. The what, the why, and the how things influence the amount of money dairy producers receive for their daily milk deliveries. We offer this daily news hour magazine as a catalyst for long-term dairy producer sustainability. We invite every dairy producer in America to get their daily dose of what can be done and what they can do to achieve and maintain profitability on their farms. $22 for 36 months is our goal. We advocate there is a way forward. We invite dairy producers to come listen, learn, and participate. This is a no-complaint zone. We talk solutions. So get out your pen and paper. And now, here's your host of the Agribusiness Dairyman News Hour magazine, Mr. Tom Van Nortwick, owner of Agribusiness Publications, publisher and editor of the Agribusiness Dairyman magazine.
All right, good morning and welcome, everyone. It is Thursday, the 24th of March, 2016. Thank you, Stuart, for your introduction this morning. As always, very helpful way to get us up and running and ready to go. We will be covering quite a number of news and information this morning, going to the blocks and barrel trades at the CME with Ron O'Brien, Senior Global Strategist with Interfoods. We will also be reviewing Robert Kropp's March forecast and outlook, the situation and outlook as he sees them. We'll be talking in our cover here this morning a little bit about Arla forming a joint venture with Dairy Farmers of America in their efforts to open a cheese manufacturing facility, a premium cheese manufacturing facility in New York State. And congratulations to them in that effort. But first in the news this morning, U.S. buyers are taking physical possession of butter, while others are using the futures market to gain price protection. Another article, the Midwest market undertone remains resigned to heavy milk and full cheese inventories. The dairy industry continues to deal with the downside of the cycle of peaks and valleys that regularly affects the industry. I was with a dairy producer yesterday who had pretty much resigned that that's all there was. We're in a valley. We're going to stay in this valley. Milk production being what it is, it can't be changed that much. We're dealing with a biological entity here, an animal that produces milk. You don't just turn the switch off, even though we've had more than 2 years of ample warning of the situation. We're not going to be able to, fix the problem. I got back to the truck and, if I'd had a sharp knife, good thing I didn't, I would have ended it and said, oh, it's over. Let's just stay here at 13. In California, it's got to be below 13. Got to be. For these dairy producers, Class 3, Class 4B. So I should go look at that. In fact, I'll make sure that I do. But other news, proposed voluntary cut in milk production by farmers in the European Union member states. Remember, we had those meetings in Brussels, and they've given the member states, the permission to individually or collectively moderate milk production, help bring it down. Strongly opposed here, it says, strongly opposed by Ireland. The European Union dairy price reports showing slight uplift, and that's probably just on the news that some of the member states might reduce production. Fonterra loses $17 million on its Chinese farming operation in the first half of the year. Korean food manufacturers are importing powdered milk from overseas as it is much cheaper than domestic product. We'll have to look at that over time. Guys, this importation of stuff, because it's just plain cheaper, especially here in America, where we are always concerned about the contamination of the food stream, I think is foolhardy at best. No, I'm sorry, but you don't have to buy it. You don't need to have high tariffs, or you don't need to put tariffs in place. You can just say, no, we're not buying that. No, bad plan. Doesn't help us. Dubai Dairy Al Rawabi to expand with a $100 million farm in Liwa region. That is an interesting story. Well worth the read. And we'll probably cover that as a cover story sometime the first of the week. We'll have to see how that goes. Cattle future prices tumble to 3-week lows Wednesday, pressured by worries about growing supplies and waning demand in the beef industry. Okay, so there's our news, a little bit of news. Our cover story I wanted to just kind of follow up with is this great article, quite frankly, bringing out in food business news what Arla and DFA are doing to form a cheddar cheese joint venture in upstate New York. The article goes as follows from Aarhus, Denmark. Arla Foods, a global dairy cooperative based in Denmark and the 5th largest dairy company in the world, has entered into a joint venture agreement with Dairy Farmers of America to develop and produce premium cheddar cheese in the United States. The joint venture will include construction of a dairy facility for cheddar cheese production in western New York State. So it's a processing facility. I think when they say dairy facility, I don't know about you, but that would confuse me. DFA will manage the operation and control 70% of the joint venture, while Arla will own 20% and 10% will be owned by the 8 farmers who supply the milk. Good plan to be one of those 8 farmers. The investment in the joint venture is expected to be $58 million, of which Arla will cover 20%, or 11.6. The joint venture is expected to employ 30 people. Together with Dairy Farmers of America and 8 of their farmers who will supply the raw material, the milk, we will explore opportunities to bring premium quality standards to the cheddar cheese through the Arla brand, said Petter Terborg, Chief Executive Officer of Arla Foods. Adding cheddar to our U.S. portfolio will allow us to expand our offerings to retailers and help increase the sales of our European products made from owner milk. Rick Smith, President and CEO of DFA, said the Dairy Marketing Cooperative is pleased to be entering into the partnership with Arla, noting the two groups share the same passion for providing the highest quality products to consumers. He added the companies are committed to sourcing products from dairy farmers who employ sustainable and transparent farm practices. And everyone should be, but I'm glad to see they have listed that as a top priority. Good for them. Construction of the new facility is expected to begin. Construction of the new facility is expected to begin this fall, with production to start in the fall of 2017. The facility will be located in western New York. I said upstate, but it's western New York, near the 8 farms supplying the raw milk. The farmers are members of DFA and will supply approximately 70,000 tons of raw milk per year, which will meet quality standards similar to Arla's proprietary farm quality program, Arla Garden, the company said. If we need a break there, Stuart will have it, but we'll get this whole story in as our cover, and you just build ads and the rest of the show around it, even if we have to extend it over and push things back. The U.S. market, continuing with the Arla story, the Arla DFA story. The U.S. market is one of 6 focus regions identified in Arla's corporate strategy, Good Growth 2020. In forming the joint venture, Arla and DFA have set a goal to become a top 10 dairy cheese brand. The companies plan to achieve this goal by expanding the business forward beyond the deli section into the dairy aisle, where the majority of U.S. cheese sales take place. Recently, the company launched its new Arla-branded cream cheese with no artificial growth hormones, ingredients, or flavors into the U.S. dairy aisle. As U.S. shoppers continue to look for better for you, and that's in quotes, better for you food products that they can feel good about serving and consuming, Arla's new cheddar cheese products will help to satisfy an unmet consumer need from the current offerings in the dairy aisle, said Don Schroyer, Jr., head of Arla Foods U.S. Our expectation is that the new cheddar products will also create a halo effect for our new Arla cream cheese and other Arla-branded products. Arla's current Arla-branded products in the United States include Havarti, Gouda, Munster, and Fontina cheeses produced locally at Arla's U.S. dairy operation in Hollandtown, Wisconsin, and imported cream cheese product and this is Holstebro, Denmark, from Owner's Milk. The new Arla cream cheese launched in the market at the end of 2015. Also part of Arla Foods' U.S. imported portfolio is Castello cheeses, which include authentic Danish Havarta, Danish blue cheese, and UK-produced premium cheddar for the deli section. Of course, their partner in this DFA is a national dairy marketing cooperative that serves and is owned by more than 14,000 members on nearly 9,000 farms across the United States. DFA is one of the nation's most diversified manufacturers of dairy products, food, components, and ingredients, and is a leader in formulating and packaging shelf-stable dairy products. Okay, there you go. So, an interesting cover story for today, the 24th day of March 2016. We're always excited to see organizations step out, and here in partnerships with 8 dairies, good for them, finding another way to get their milk marketed, deliver that milk, and hopefully it'd be interesting to see what they're getting paid for their milk. You'd think dairy producers would pay themselves pretty well, but I noticed that hasn't always been the case, because I kept thinking that back in 2009 when cooperatives were paying dairy producers $9.36 a hundredweight here in California for their milk. But life goes on, and we're excited about the opportunity to bring you the news. We'll continue this effort. We'll be joining, of course, throughout the morning, the trades at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange for blocks and barrels, then dry powder, and on to butter. So stay tuned, and we'll return after these messages.
Hello, I'm Eva Strang, Education Coordinator for the Allied Milk Producers. Cereal and milk have always been a mainstay for breakfast, at least since 1882. That's when the first commercially manufactured cereal was made by Henry Perky. It was called shredded wheat, and it's still with us today as one of the most popular cereals. Remember, breakfast is probably the most important meal of the day, and a good breakfast includes nutritious dairy foods like milk on cereal. A good way to start the day.
Is your milking equipment holding your dairy back? Are you still milking with 5/8-inch dairy equipment that became popular 35 years ago? Your dairy's production and milking goals have changed. Shouldn't your dairy equipment be able to meet the same goals? Beco Dairy Automation can help with industry-leading, innovative dairy equipment that eliminates all restrictions in the milk path of your milking parlor. Eliminating the restrictions in the milk path improves production, milking flow rates, parlor throughput, and ultimately better udder health for your cows. Beco Dairy Automation is your partner for success, delivering unrestricted, durable, and profitable milking equipment to today's commercial dairy. To learn more, call us today at 1-800-344-7166 or check out our website at www.becoKnows.com.
Today, otherwise looks like everybody else is accounted for. Yeah, we got 5 seconds to be open. We're open. No markets to start, nothing posted, no bids, no offers. We're 30 seconds in here, still nothing posted, no bids, no offers. Steady bid in the block by PPT. It's a 149 even bid in the block by PPT. No market in the barrel. All right, bet it in. Steady bid in the block by PPT. No offer, no market in the barrels. Thirty seconds till the call here. So steady bid in the block by PPT. No offers, no market barrel. All right. Go into the call here. Steady bid in block. First call. Second call. Third. Close. Okay. So we're going to settle that block at 149 even. Unchanged, no low trading. It's going off Pete's unfilled bid there. No market in the barrel. Settling at 145 even. Unchanged, no low trading. No problem. Have a great weekend. All right. Thanks. Take care. Okay. All right. Pete's open and shut. Settling that block 149 even, unchanged, no loads traded. Barrel settling 145 even, unchanged, no loads trading. So we'll be back on here for not bad and a couple few not bad. Settle at 73 and a quarter. Stay with me.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Move over, Manny, Mo, and Jack. For quick, convenient auto service and no appointment needed, ask for G Express service from Grupetti Automotive in Visalia. We'll guarantee an oil and filter change in as little as 39 minutes. And there's more. Need your tires rotated? A brake job? Even a 15,000-mile service? There's no appointment necessary, and we'll guarantee your service time. G Express. It's a new level of convenience you'll only find at Grupetti Automotive.
Is your milking equipment holding your dairy back? Are you still milking with 5/8-inch dairy equipment that became popular 35 years ago? Your dairy's production and milking goals have changed. Shouldn't your dairy equipment be able to meet the same goals? Beco Dairy Automation can help with industry-leading, innovative dairy equipment that eliminates all restrictions in the milk path of your milking parlor. Eliminating the restrictions in the milk path improves production, milking flow rates, parlor throughput, and ultimately better udder health for your cows. Beco Dairy Automation is your partner for success, delivering unrestricted, durable, and profitable milking equipment to today's commercial dairy. To learn more, call us today at 1-800-344-7166 or check out our website at www.becoKnows.com.
71.5 bid on one by Trev. 71.5 bid on one. Yeah. It's going to be 2 bid on one by PPT, sorry. 2 even bid by Trev as well. Total of 2 bids, 72 even. No offers. Trev makes it a 2 lot. 2 at 74. 74 even offer 2 times, but 72 even bid. Both below. BLT joins the offer at 74 even 2 times. 4 on the offer. KPC joins, total 5 on the offer. Ash joins 1 time, total 6. 22.5 bid on 1 by PPT. Off the call. We got 3 seconds. Offer 2 at 73 and a quarter. 73 and a quarter offer 2 times by me. 72.7. Yeah, steady offer. KBC joins 1 time. 72.75 bid. 2. 1 and 3/4. BLT joins the offer. 2 times 4 on the offer, 73 and a quarter. Who's the bid? PPT is the bid. First call. Offer 2 at 73 even. 73 even, offer 2 times. So 1. All right, sold you 1 at 72.75. PPT. 275 bid on 1 by PPT. 2 offered at 73. 72.75 bid by PPT. Sell you 1, Pete. Sold 1 at 72.75. Still 2 offered at 73. APC joins the offer. 7. What's bid? 2 half bid on 1 by Trev. 1 to posting. First call. Third. Third 1. All right, so I sold at 1 at 72.5 to Trev. 2 at 73. 72 even bid on 1 by Mesh. I'm still offering at 73. Okay, 72 even bid on 1 by Mesh. Trev joins a bid at 72. 72.5 bid on 1 by Menar. Posting. First call. Okay, second call. Third. KPC sells 1 at 72.5 to Menar. 72 even bid on a total of 2. Right. Yeah, I'm still offering 2 at 73. Mish, Trev, and Ash are all bidding 72. Yeah, I'm still offering at 73. 72 even bid. 2. Are you bid? Oh, no, he's offering, sorry. It's just a total of 2 at 72 even. 2 bid at 72 even. Yeah, I've got 2 there. First call. Okay. Third. Close. All right, so we're going to settle right there at 72.5. Down 75. 4 loads traded total. We sold a total of...
Okay, there's the end of the dry powder trade. Back from that. In more news of the dairy situation and outlook here in March 2016, Bob Prop, Professor Emeritus at Wisconsin Cooperative Exchange. Bob offers the following. In March, milk prices still not February remain low a year ago. Dairy product prices may average lower than February. Chicago Mercantile Exchange butter averaged $2.08 per pound in February and $1.92, $1.95. With the current price, $1 per pound in February and range $1.6 to $1.54 current price at cheddar barrels averaged $1.4573 per pound in February and range $1.42. At these prices, the March Classic price will be near $13.80, same as February, and about $1.75 lower than the $15.56 ago. Non-fat dry milk 0.741, 74 cents in February, and ranged 74 to 78 in March. As a result, the March Class 4 price will be near $13 compared to $13.49 in February and $13.80 a year ago. Okay, milk, butter, and cheese are forecasted to remain good, but depending upon the level of milk production and export prices may increase only modestly. April, May, and June, and then show more strength from July through December. As we approach spring and early summer, milk production normally increases seasonally. A year ago, milk production during the first half of the year was well above. Milk cow numbers were increasing and milk per cow was good. For the first half of the year, milk production was 75% higher than the year before, so milk production may increase less than 1% for the first half of the year. But milk production slowed for the first half of the year, with production just 1% higher in the third quarter and 0.7% in the fourth quarter. So for the last half, the milk production could increase by more than 1%. USDA forecasts milk production for the year to increase by 1.4, down from their 1.6 increase earlier. This forecast is based on milk cow numbers averaging above 0.2, where did I go with that? Averaging about 0.2% lower than last year, and milk per cow up 1.8%. But with the low milk prices forecasted for the first half of the year and averaging below a year ago for the entire year, this 1.4% increase in milk production may still be on the high side. However, lower feed costs is helping to keep the margins at a level for a continued increase in milk. We apologize for the feedback with the CME behind us, but we're just going to plod through it this morning. Usually they go dormant. Somebody's forgetting to push a button there, and I have control over that. You are listening, however, to the Agribusiness Dairyman magazine, your 1-hour all-dairy connection, and we welcome you to our morning call. The continuing on with Bob Kropp's dairy situation and outlook, we appreciate Bob and his efforts to keep us better informed. He goes on with milk production started off slow with January. Okay, we did that. Dairy exports are not likely to put prices up until late in the year or into 2015. Now we're going to be coming up on the butter trades at the CME, which we will cover and listen in as that takes place. And we'll just try and continue on with Bob's article right up until that moment. The level of world stocks and world milk. All
right, minute till we open here for butter. Sell at 192 even. Thanks, brother. All right. 20 seconds till we open here for butter. Settle at 192 even. Ten seconds till we open here. We're open. 92 1/4 bid on 1 by GTL. We're up 1/4 on the day out of the gate. 198 even offer 2 times by BJM. $98 even offer 2 times by Hess. Total of 4 offered at 198 even. 4 on the offer here. 192 1/4 bid on 1 GTL. 1 minute. Minute in here. $197 even offer 2 times by BJN. Seconds to the call here. 192 and a quarter bid by GTL, 1 time 4 on the offer. 2 on the offer, 197 even. $196 even offer 2 times by BJM. 6 even offer 2 times BJM. Still 92 and a quarter bid on 1 GTL. Coming up on the call here. 575 offer by Trev. 1 time. 5.5 offer 2 times BJM. Posting. First call. Second call. Third. Blows. All right, they're going to settle right there at 192 and a quarter, up a quarter. No loads trading. All right, everybody. Have a lovely holiday weekend.
As dairy farmers watch profits slip away and a wonderful way of life painfully comes to an end for future generations, Dairy Pricing Association sees a brighter future simply by having a solution. These dairy pricing farmer members in 10 states and growing have figured out a way. Government handouts are not the answer. It's time for farmers to take matters in their own hands. Dairy Pricing Association is asking for farmers to contribute 10 cents per hundredweight to buy surplus dairy products to create a floor price, as well as helping relieve hunger in America. This is a win-win. As dairy farmers, we watch markets fluctuate as much as $4 per hundredweight in 1 month's time. 10 cents is nothing. Imagine being able to curb another 2009 scenario simply by controlling the floor price that you need as a dairy farmer to stay in business. With the dairy products that you as a dairy pricing member purchase, thousands of people are fed. No government assistance is needed. Rather, simply you as a dairy farmer are helping yourself by helping others. For more information, visit online dairypricing.org.
Are you restricting the profitability of your dairy herd? Beco Dairy Automation can help with industry-leading, innovative dairy equipment that eliminates all restrictions in the milk path of your milking parlor. Beco Dairy Automation is your partner for success, delivering unrestricted, durable, and profitable milking equipment to today's commercial dairy. To learn more, call us today at 1-800-344-7166. Check our website at becoKnows.com.
All right. This is the Agribusiness Dairyman News Hour magazine, your 1 hour all dairy connection. And I think he was about to tell us that they would be closing tomorrow. So there will be no markets tomorrow. And we'll see. I'm not sure how we'll handle Good Friday on this end of the world with things that we've got going. But we look forward to the holiday as well, and wish everyone the very best of the holiday for Easter in all of your activities, especially with family. It's one of the best times of the year for family, next to the Christmas holidays, of course. But not much change in the markets. A little bit of product moving here and there, especially dry powder. We saw movement, no blocks and barrels, and a little bit of butter activity. But by and large, the damage has been done. We're sitting at lower prices and not much chance of getting those moved. Bob Kropp, who provides his dairy situation and outlook to us every month and is well published around the country, and we express our appreciation to him. He says this about exports: they are not likely to push milk prices up until late in the year or into 2017. The level of world stocks and world milk production, along with the lower imports by China and Russia, have depressed world prices. The higher U.S. dollar and dairy product prices, higher than world prices, are keeping exports below a year ago while attracting more imports. The exception is non-fat dry milk, skim milk powder, where U.S. prices are competitive on the world market. January non-fat dry milk, skim milk powder exports were up 23% from the prior year, and most ever for the month. That's where China came in and did some buying last month. But cheese exports, after being 14% lower last year, were down another 8%, and butter exports, after being down 70% last year, were even with a year ago. So that's 70% lower in butter exports compared to 2014. On a total solids basis, U.S. exports were equivalent to 12.5% of U.S. milk production in January, down from 14% in 2015. Exports, however, were equivalent to 4.4% of milk production, the highest since February of 2009. Okay. With lower, Bob goes on, with lower exports and stocks of butter and cheese are, let's start that again. With lower exports, the stocks of butter and cheese are increasing and putting downward pressure on milk prices. January 31 butter stocks were 31.7% higher than a year ago and 24.3% higher than the 5-year average for this date. Total cheese stocks were 12.4% higher and 14% higher than the 5-year average for this date. Non-fat dry milk stocks were 5.7% lower than a year ago, but the second highest for January, and still 30.3% higher than the 5-year average for this date. Bob finishes his last paragraph with anticipated milk production and dairy exports not expected to show much improvement until late in the year. USDA and other price forecasters have revised downward milk prices for the year. USDA forecasts the Class 3 price to only average $13.60 to $14.20 compared to $15.80 last year. The forecast for the average all milk price is $14.95 to $15.55 compared to $17.08 last year. Current Class 3 futures are not any more optimistic, with Class 3 in the 13s until August and then in the 14s for the remainder of the year and the first half of 2017. But I think milk prices still have a good chance of turning out somewhat better than this. Milk production may not increase as much, and exports could improve more than now anticipated during the second half of the year. We could see the Class 3 in the 14s by May, the 15s by July, and the 16s by September, October, and average near 15 for the year, with the all milk price averaging near $16.30. Even if these higher prices materialize, it will be a tough year for dairy. All right, thank you, Bob, for that always helpful analysis and forecast. I think it sets up well the amount of effort that we need to put into finding another way forward. And what we're going to continue to advocate is the extreme importance of doing a better job of increasing utilization and consumption on a domestic basis. We've got some great people, I'm sure, out there pushing all of the export material we possibly can. And it will be what it will be, but it isn't enough. It isn't enough to keep prices here domestically above cost of production for dairy producers, and we've got to be working on that. One of the recommendations that we make, of course, is the fortification of all milk, better taste, more nutrition nationwide. We are convinced that a better tasting, more nutritious product enhances our marketability, it enhances consumption, it dramatically impacts utilization over time, and is the way we must go. We are going to work hard here in California to organize dairy producers behind that plan. That California standards have always been higher. The milk does taste better. It is more nutritious, and that's the way it should be everywhere we sell milk. The consumers deserve better than to give them milk products that are not as healthy and do not taste as good when we have the ability to do otherwise. Secondly, we want to do a much better job of addressing the fact that 1 in 5 Americans do not typically have a daily choice of dairy at mealtime. It's not in the menu. It's not in the refrigerator. It's not at the food bank because it's just not available. They do get some time-sensitive stuff which might enhance a particular meal or group of meals over a short period of time. But by and large, the food pantries of this country are pretty much void of dairy and dairy products. And so we need to do better because we can. And we've got excess. We are commanded in all things, and in this particular instance, commanded to give and impart of our excess to those who are in need. And we recommend that be part of what the Dairy Pricing Association has brought forward for many years now, a component of the plan that was put in the contract with producers when we formed the National Dairy Producers Organization in 10 and 11. That is, to me, still the best dairy policy statement available in the country today. More comprehensive. It touches on everything that we need to get resolved and be consistent in our efforts to resolve each of the points brought up in the contract with producers. The contract included the Dairy Pricing Organization, Dairy Pricing Association's plan to not to fortify milk, but to work with producers to set aside the funds necessary in order to remove excess product and inventories in times of excess like we have today, when we were not able to completely moderate the front end, the milk production on the front end, that we actually stand ready on the back end, making sure our processors and manufacturers receive a fair price for what they have done, what they have created and processed. We're not trying to buy it on the cheap. We want it at a price that will sustain $22 per hundredweight in milk price for dairy producers. Why? Because that's what it's going to take. Going forward in 2016 through 2020, dairy producers will need to be earning $19 to $22 minimum for their milk. We can't do this 16, 14, 13, 12, 10, 9. And yet we've got producers around the world that are receiving as little as $9 per hundredweight. And I don't care where you produce milk, you can't make it at $9 a hundredweight. And so it just bleeds red blood in the dairy producer sector. And so we advocate that dairy producers need to take full responsibility for how much milk they produce and bring into the marketplace at any given time, especially when they've had ample opportunity to moderate the supply of milk to keep it more in line with the demand for that milk, profitable demand for that milk. So we're going to continue this effort to bring you forward on the NewsHour magazine, the Agribusiness Dairyman NewsHour magazine, your 1 hour all dairy connection, the news and the information and the markets, and of course what dairy producers are doing starting here in California. However, you need to know that dairy pricing is alive and well and doing just fine in the East and throughout parts of the Midwest, where dairy producers have come together. This is their plan. We just simply think it's the best thing going. We're in the media world, and we're going to help them the best we can. We need to do a better job of getting the word out and helping dairy producers understand that they can increase utilization, they can increase consumption, they need to put out the very best product they can. 80,000 or bust in our 2020 agenda is all about somatic cell counts being under 80,000. Why? Because we can. Why? Because we need to. Why? Because it makes the milk better. Why? Because it makes the milk taste better. Why? Because it increases shelf life. Why? Because we can. We need to be picture perfect. Why? Because we can. And the consumers are going to hold us accountable. And we've got to be helping them understand what it is you do and why you do it the way you do it, and how careful you are and how well cared for these animals are. And that dairy producers will continue to do their very best going forward. And we're going to find ways in order to help consumers understand that And that's what media should do. That's what media must do. In sustainable agriculture, we need media to help tell the story, to give out all of the information, the right information, and make it balanced and impartial. And by doing so, we then will have a dramatic impact on the consumer confidence in this country. The other warning that we give is relative to imports. Importation of milk and milk products into this country is a dangerous precedent. Yes, it's being done because it's just plain cheaper. And there's, as was reminded to me by that one particular dairy producer yesterday, there ain't no way you're going to stop it. Well, yeah, you could. You could just not buy it. You don't need high tariffs. You don't need any of that stuff. You just don't buy it because it has the potential to not be safe. It has the potential to contaminate. You need to be resistant because you can't afford that contamination, the loss of consumer confidence. You can't afford it. And so those are some issues that we feel dairy producers need to address, and they need to find solutions to those problems. Dairy producers are leading these efforts. We commend them. We recommend them wholeheartedly, and we're going to do everything we can to aid their efforts. Why? Because I do not adhere to the philosophy that fewer dairy producers make better dairy. It's not good for the country. It's not sustainable. The consumers have got to be made to understand, and I think over time they will, that quality and safety is a big issue. We cannot relegate these production farms to obscurity or to poverty because we're not willing to stand up and say, hey, what you produce is worth what it takes to keep you. The importation of products just because they're cheaper is not always the best thing for the country. It's not always the best thing for this industry. And so let the buyer beware that a contamination problem brought on by imported products in the dairy industry will have far-reaching ramifications, much bigger than the benefit provided by bringing in excess product or products from another country to blend into our milk and milk products that have been so well regulated and tested and are doing the very best. We hope everyone's doing the very best they can to ensure the safety and quality of that product. So there you go. That pretty much covers it for the morning. We appreciate the opportunity we have to be involved in a small way in providing this information. We'll be back. It's going to be, in all likelihood, there will be no broadcast on Friday the 25th, Good Friday. Without the markets there won't be much news going on. It's a short day at best for many people. And so let's just announce now that we won't be back until Monday the 28th of March, 2016. It'll be at 8:30 a.m. in the Pacific time zone and 11:30 in the East. So everyone have a safe day. Be careful wherever you go and in your travels for the holiday. Have a great time, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Imagine life without cheese. Okay, it's a horrible thought, but we're only pretending. Pasty pizzas, blah burritos, colorless casseroles, the mind boggles. Cheese transforms the eating experience. It can be creamy or crumbly, sharp or sweet, hot and gooey, or room temperature. With hundreds and hundreds of different varieties, cheese can really add zing to your meals. Behold the power of cheese, presented by the Allied Milk Producers.
Pico Dairy Automation is your partner for success, delivering unrestricted, durable, and profitable milking equipment to today's commercial dairy. To learn more, call us at 1-800-344-7166.
To learn or hear more, please join us for our daily News Hour magazine, your 1 hour all-dairy connection. It is broadcast live every morning at 8:30 a.m. Pacific and 11:30 a.m. Eastern. You can join the broadcast by calling 712-432-0900. Your conference PIN number is 666632#, or you can listen to the recorded call by dialing 712-432-0990, using your same PIN number for personal access. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. We truly believe you need to and can know more. Our job is to deliver more knowledge to dairy producers, believing that if knowledge is power, then applied knowledge is nuclear power. We'll see you on the call.